No way, we actually have some Ghostrick action, Crystal Beast, and even more Mind Shuffle. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. So today we're going to be looking at, it's not exactly like the greatest Ghostrick inclusion in the world, but it's enough that you can go, okay, I see what we're trying to do here. So basically, we're playing, what I want to say is like a supercharged combo option deck that, you know, you're able to go up some different lines. And a lot of the association you kind of get with these ideas is because, you know, how many level 1s can we access to be able to kind of do some things. To my understanding, this build ended up going 5-0 out of its event, which is absolutely wonderful because you don't see players looking to other options and going, oh, hey, you know, we have the Karibo. You know, what level, or what, you know, 300, 200 stat lines, you know, can you pull from? And you kind of start to get into some of the, well, you know, my walls can, you know, toggle into other walls, but I don't know, this is always kind of an interesting little inclusion within these decks. Next up here, we get to see some Crystal Beast action, and I love the Durastia in here, or the Alara. So what? We get access into the Doomsy command. I feel like the same standard thing that you're supposed to do with every one of these Crystal Beast decks still applies here. You know, your job is to, you know, get the unlimited Gamma Seal up and running, where, you know, you're basically here to try to win the game, which, I mean, is fine when you get down to it, right? As long as, you know, you can get the fodder loaded up to basically try to get these options going, you know, the deck should just naturally fall into place for you, depending on, you know, where the options are going. So I guess, obviously, you know, options to adjust for the testing of the environment, but I don't know, man, it seemed like a cool idea for, you know, the fun OCG stuff. Next up, we have Mind Shuffle. And honestly, the things that Mind Shuffle still does is still incredibly ignorant, right? So the way that this deck has been hollowed out at this point, you're going to just roll with the Triple Harmonia because this is exactly what your deck needs to do. You establish Triple Harmonia, establish the, you know, the ability to Mind Shuffle during the opponent's turn. So if I open up, in theory, I see the Griffario, or the Griffo, and the Mind Shuffle plus Harmonia access. You've got free Blackluster Soldier interruption on the opponent's turn with the Harmonia bouncing back to your hand to further put pressure on your opponent. It's BS. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's this sort of revolving door of chaos, as you will, that really tends to make this deck feel very, very, very strong. And honestly, like, obviously, you know, your super poly targets in here, you know, your one Wabaz solution. Yeah, deck's pretty broken. Next up, we have Phantom Knights. Now, Phantom Knights, they've kind of calmed down a little bit. They've not been going, you know, crazy week after week here, but it's enough that these new cards, I think, upped the consistency enough to push this deck into the rogue, or into the DDD slot for, you know, the block, which is fine. You also got to remember, they have the Faithful Adventure package finally back at, you know, I want to say like full playability for them. Full playability is you got a Griffin Rider, Water Enchantress, and you're playing one Rite of Armesier. The fact that they're not really wanting to branch beyond this is kind of crazy. Like, you want to, I guess we're in an era now where you got to keep your packages very minimalistic. You know, we can't really go too crazy on the explosibility of this. So I find that kind of interesting, you know. Just kind of take that for what it's worth in terms of combo percentile. Interesting. Next up here, we get to see the standard Elf Note approach to the meta. Now, Elf Note, you do get to do some really cool things in the OCG. We do have access to Starjunk Synchron, and we are playing the Triple Synchro Emergency. As we have learned, Cool Tune tried to play this in the very beginning of its life. It didn't really work out, so we've just seen this deck kind of kick back into the later half of the meta and actually just try to do some decent things. Now, they also do have the June Pride. This card is bonkers strong for the deck, man. Being able to blink into 3 other potential monsters is really, really good. And that's why we like this card. This card actually helps the deck out a lot in terms of just being able to get that pressure up and running against your opponent. And honestly, seems good. I like having access to that level of play. All right, next up here, we're going to have some Blitzclick action. Blitzclick has been kind of evolving very strongly in the OCG. I'm liking the fact that, you know, Thunder King has become way more prevalent in these lists. You know, in the very beginning stages, your list would decide, you know, how many Thunder King Ryo are we going to, you know, try to push through and play. Right now, we've got 2 and 1 here, which is looking, I think, just fine. I also do see we are playing Win in here. We really do not get a major chance to see this card like seeing play at all. Actually, I think it just kind of disappeared for a little while from the competitive scene. And also, they're packing in triple Sea Turd of Theseus in this list. It's very interesting because, I mean, like, you're going to be boarding into Super Polys anyway. Kind of keep that pressure on your opponent, obviously. The Super Poly targets are the most critically important thing that this list has access to, so not too bad. Next up here, we do get to see another Blitzclick list. Once again, these lists are actually kind of focusing on Shifter now as well. I think Shifter is a very, very important card, right? Like, you Shifter a Cool Tune player, and they're just like, well, there goes all my added benefits of being able to do things. I just don't think players have really realized that yet. This list is also not opting to play Pot of Extrav at all in this list, which I think is fine. We do have the Astroplasma or Astrolama Urania in the side deck. This is something that is very tech choice worthy for you to get the opportunity to kind of explore, which is kind of nice. Truthfully, outside of that, you have 2 very different approaches to the same deck here. I like that we are seeing, you know, the powerhouse options being available to you here as, you know, we kind of get to explore some different little options within this list. Next up here, we have Branded with the Mind Shuffle strategy built into it. And I think this really just pays a homage to how good the particular Mind Shuffle strategy is just allowed to be incorporated into all of these different decks. Now, another interesting one here is, you know, Pharah giving you access to make sure that any spell that you need to resolve is going to be able to resolve, which you can kind of start to get very disgusting with things here when something like Grasslook Screener is able to pave the way here to be able to, you know, do its job, which is kind of cool, honestly. I like this. Truthfully, outside of that, you're already playing 60 cards. You're getting access to all of the crazy lines of play that your deck wants to have. And obviously, you have a couple of other little side options that you can kind of rotate into depending on the matchup. And that's the cool thing about Branded, right? Like, one silver bullet leads into another. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Next up, what in the world is this? Hecka Hands with the Chimera pile. And we're playing Dark Panther. Okay, well, first of all, I guess we were just getting creative here. There's always going to be somebody out there in the OCG. It's like, what if we didn't ban Moon of the Closed Heavens? And it's like, I guess I appreciate you guys clutching onto this card as much as you can, trying to, you know, keep it around. But guys, it's time to let it go, you know. It amazes me in how much the casual player base, when they build these decks for these own format regulated events, you still get to see that they clutch onto these cards and they're like, no, this is okay. And it's like, no, man, I think it's time to let it go. But that's kind of what you're dealing with here. You get to see the tacky little options that the more casual side of the game wants to initiate. And it's not terrible, but it's something else, to say the least. Next up here, you know, I love this deck. I love that, you know, the ABC deck is able to Barbaros, do the funny haha, which just leads on into, like, a cataclysmic board wipe against the opponent. But, like, unfortunately, this deck never took off, which is kind of a shame, actually, because there's some cool ideas within this pile of cards, but just because of the way that the deck is organized, you know, and the consistency, obviously, you know, needing to play the vanilla monster in the deck, kind of really hurt any chances of the deck going off, which is kind of sad, actually. But what do you guys think about these options? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later and dig it. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.